Today, we're going to enter the world of online digital art creation. I know, right? Don't worry, it's not too scary, and I'll be right here to walk you through it. So, we're going to go to a website called lucidpress.com. Maybe you've used it before, maybe you haven't. It's a pretty cool website where we can kind of lay out stuff on a page and make art. And today, we're going to look at a few basic tools, and then I'm going to have you create a book cover for a book that you can make up the title, the author, and whatever. But it's a pretty cool process, and I hope you have some fun. Let's get started. First things first, let's head over to lucidpress.com. When you get there, it should look something like this. You can either click login or sign up with Google. You actually already have an account. Then you'll need to pick your Schoolcraft account. No other account will work. You might need to type in your information. Let Jake know if you need any help. Once you've signed in, it'll bring you to your home page. And there's a lot going on here. You can close out some of the things you don't need. But today, we're going to head over to My Documents, where you can see all the documents you've ever made. And I have quite a few. Maybe you have one or two, maybe you have none. And that's okay. Today, we're going to click New. We could go from a template, but that already has designs that somebody else made on it, and I want to see what you can make. So we want to go to Blank Document and click. It might take a second, but then it opens up the Lucidpress document editor. And here we find ourselves on a blank page, full of creation, boundless opportunities. First things first, though, let's go up to the title. Blank print document is not a very good title. So for this project, I'm going to name it Jake's Book Cover. You can name it your name and book cover. Now we're all set. First things first, we want to look at some of the tools we have on here. Before we add anything, we can see over on the right what size our document is. We don't need to change it today. Sometimes we might. We can change if we want to go sideways or up and down. And there's a thing called margins. We won't worry about that for now. Let's head over to this side where you can see a few options of what we can do. I'm going to add some text, and I can either add a heading, subheading, or body text. I'll just add a heading because it's going to be the title of my book. For my book, I've chosen the title, To the Moon and Back. You'll see that we can't see my whole title on here, so we need to go over to the side of the box and the sideways arrow, and we can pull it out. And we'll notice I misspelt moon. That's okay. It told me, and I can fix it. If I want to move it around, I click off and then back to my text. And I want to move this up to the top of the page. You see that line that appears? That means I have it centered. Centered is always good. Now up here, you'll see tons of tools that you can use for your text. They're the same tools that are found over on the right. First things first, I'm going to center my text and maybe change the format. To the moon and back. I think we'll just go with To the Moon for now. Then I want to change my font. Whoops. Here is a drop-down menu that will show me all the fonts I could ever want to find. And if I needed more, I could go to Manage Fonts. And it would let me search for even more fonts. But today, we'll just look at what's available in the document. Looking for the best font that I could ever ask for. Orbitron. That's pretty good. Now I could choose to underline it if I wanted. I could choose to make it all caps, small caps, lots of options. I think I just need to make it bigger. Clicking up, I'll make it bigger. 63 sounds good. I don't want it stacked, so I'm going to stretch out my box once again to the moon. I think that looks pretty good. If I want to change the color, I click on this box and move it to red. Nice. Now I need to add who wrote the book. And for this, you're just going to write your name by Jake Anderson. Once again, we can't see all the text, so we can pull out the sideways arrow, making our text bigger. Nothing happened, Jake. Well, click off it, click on it. Clicking up our arrow. We have it. And I think we'll change that font too. Let's try. That's interesting. Take off bold. What do you guys think? Bold or not bold? We'll go unbold for today. Now I have my title and my author. Next thing I want to do is add some stuff onto my cover. Well, first option is over here on the shapes. You can add any of these shapes to create whatever you can think. I think I'm going to create the moon. I'll drag a circle over here or simply click it. And now I can grab in the corner and I can make this whatever shape I want. If I hold down the shift key, it'll keep it a perfect circle, which I would prefer that. I'm going to put this in the spot I would like. Perfect. Then I can go over to my side and I can change the color. I think the moon's a little more gray than white. I could even add a border. For this, I think I'll take off the border. You could add a shadow so it looks like it's floating on the page. That's nice. All right. Next, I'm going to add some craters, which will also be circles. This time I'll just click. I will move them around and change the size and change the color. You can change it on the top bar or the side. Copy paste and you can multiply. Adjusting the size. Don't be afraid to play around with the controls to see what works best for you. Maybe we want to add a shadow. I don't think so. Now I've made something out of shapes. It's the moon. Next, I'm going to add, I think, an image. Right below our shapes, you'll find a little mountain with a moon. That's images. When we select it, it's going to give us a bunch of options, stuff that's already on your computer. What we want to do is hit Manage. This will allow us to search what's on our computer or the web. If you hit Google Drive, it'll look for what's on your drive. If we hit Bing search, I think that'll work. Now, I want an astronaut. Astronaut. Oops, I misspelled it. That's okay. Astronaut. I can look and find one that I think's the best. How about this guy? I'll click him. Might have to click twice. Where did he go? There he is. Click, add photo. It'll add it to my bank. Double click, and it adds it to my page. Uh-oh, I can see that there's a watermark on this, so I'm not going to use it. Good thing earlier I found a different one. We're going to try that out. Double click. Now I'm adding a little picture of an astronaut. Just like shapes, I can drag from the corner to make it any size I want. Or if I hold the cursor up here, I could rotate it to make him look like he's floating. Pretty good. All right, we added an image. All right, now I need to add a background. And I can come over here and click on background. And I could click a solid color if I wanted, but you'll see I have a white square around my person. So I think I'm gonna make a linear gradient. You'll see down here you have an option for a linear background. I'm gonna click that. I'm gonna make my first square black. I'm gonna rotate this so it's on the top. I'm actually gonna delete that one. And I'm gonna go like do. There we go. Maybe even move him down a little bit more. Go back to my background and I can edit how my gradient looks. You'll just have to mess around with the controls to see what's best. Uh-oh, I can't see the author's name. I'll just go back, change the color. There we go. I don't think I'm quite done yet. I'm going to add a line, which I can find over by the Shapes tool. We edit it the same way we would a shape, moving it around, stretching it out, holding Shift to keep it straight. Maybe we'll even change the color. Okay, and I think I could experiment with this text a little bit. Over here, under Shape, you'll see the shadow key. We can change our color of our shadow to white. And then I can move it around. I think that looks pretty good. Now that looks like a book I would read. How about you? Once we're all done, it's time to turn it in. We have two options. We can click this little shape up here, which will download. And you could download it as a PDF or a JPEG. I'll do PDF. Don't worry about all these. You'll just hit download, and that'll download straight to your computer, where you can then turn it in on Google Classroom. Or, if you wish, you can hit the share button. When you hit share, you'll hit collaborate with others. And then you'll type in Jake A at schoolcraft.org, and you will hit share. Boom. And that will share it with me so I can see what you've created. All right, now that we know a little bit about Lucidpress, it's going to be your turn to go ahead and use the stuff you learned and create a book cover. Now you can really take your time and explore all the tools that Lucidpress has, see what does what. Take your time. There's only 4 things that you really need on your book cover. You're going to need to use the text tool. And that's easy. You can use that for a title and an author. I want you to try using the shapes tool to create something like the moon I made. Create something of your own using those shapes. I want you to try to place an image onto your book cover. All right, that can either be from your computer, from the Bing search I showed you, or what have you. And lastly, use a couple colors. Use some different colors. You know, we know what book covers look like, and I think you can make an awesome one if you just give it a shot. So once you're all done, submit it to Google Classroom. I can't wait to see what you guys create.